Okay. Welcome back to The Hidden Dungeon Only I Can Enter. Anime Review, Episode 2. Yep. This one I'm discussing episodes 4 through 6. 4 and 5 is simply put just a continuation of basically of a plot thread they set in episode 5. Trying to cure Maria of her curse. So, they go visit the cleric. Basically, her name is Lola. Yes, her name is Lola. And episode 9 is technically her first. Actually, not Lola, it's Luna. Yes, Luna. This is the one voiced by Kira Buckland. The one that voiced Beatrice from ReZero. Yes, the first time you see her is basically you have episode starting off with Lola going to see her. And it's after she goes drinking business, she's going to take a break because she's exhausted. So, talks to her about Maria's curse. She does know about it. And, of course, she also goes visit, Noir and Emilia. Though Noir himself goes to see Olivia. I forgot to mention this in the last episode with the whole button. It wasn't a kiss, basically, it activates LP. It was actually nibbling on Emma's ear. Yes. Apparently, that basically is a sign of lust. Somehow. I don't know why. And pretty much. Now, in case you're curious, though, doing these episodes, unlike in the first 3, does Emilia kiss Noir? The answer in episode 4, no, but 5 she does. So, they try to figure out a way to lift the curse. They discuss it for a while, and basically, Lula reveals that she has visited before, but she couldn't because apparently her power, whenever she lifts curses, apparently shortens her lifespan. So, he, of course, uses the pig. Of course, this is actually Noir who figures this out. So, he edits it later on where it's actually her finances affected, not her lifespan. Okay. Oh, and how they raise money to be able to, let's just say, figure out a way to alter the actual curse itself. Well, they go to a harem competition. Yes, this happened both in light novel and the manga. And they show off the other teams. Basically, there are 10 teams where you have guys. You have 10 guys showing off their beautiful girlfriends. Somewhat, anyways. Yes. Now, in the case of the first one, they say they have this waitress who's a barmaid. She's an okay-looking woman. I don't think she's terrible. This guy was a pig. I'm like, really? She's okay-looking. A lot of the other women just okay, or just basically too muscle-bound. They're just okay. They may not be good-looking, but at least they're women, per se. And, of course, the second to last guy, they actually cut out the little thing from the actual book itself, where it was the guy who won in the previous year actually wanted only 2 women in his harem. And Noir's got his childhood friend, his receptionist, and the cleric, who's basically the receptionist's best friend. Yep. And, of course, you had Millie showing herself off, where she's like a student at the Hero Academy, and of course they know who the cleric is because she's well known, and the receptionist's like, oh, also I have Hero Guild, and then of course we have to do they kind of been basically won the first one with, apparently he had to get 3,000 points in order to win, and the previous guy 2,000, I think it was 2,970. Noir got 2,995, pretty good. So, both two scenarios. First, how do you warm up a guy who's cold? Well, having all 3 women basically use their bodies to warm him up. Okay. Deal with cold with a prop. This time, piece of bread. So you have Lola basically using her lap as a lap pillow for Noir's head. You have his leg being put into Emma's chest. And then we have it where Lula basically breathes on supposedly cold bread, which actually is supposed to be hot bread, but it's actually cold bread. Breathes on it, basically, feeds it to him in order to cure a cold. And then they cap it off by having all 3 women plant a kiss on his lips at the same time. And then the guy running is like, screw this, take the money and go. And of course, they'll throw garbage at them. Yep. And then right after they get the whole LP basically boost up, they go see Maria. And of course, he edits her skill, her basically her affects her finances, and of course, then we have it where Lula actually cures her of the actual curse. Now they mentioned this actually was sent to her. This actually is an ancestral curse, so basically none of her, not her parents not affected by it. It started basically with a sorcerer cast her ancestor, but it didn't affect anyone in the family except for her. So they finally cure it. Basically, she's like in a lot of pain. And, of course, before this, basically, to get a special skill, she proceeds to kiss Noir on the lips, which makes her technically the second person to kiss him in the series. Well, in the case of the other two, they just peck. It was just a peck. In the case of the other two, this one, yeah, this is a full-blown kiss. And to increase his LP. Basically, his life force. Yeah, basically, it's eating delicious food, getting money, or looking at the beautiful woman. Also, he has skill where apparently it's a luck leech where he trips and he ends up in Emma's chest. Yes, this happens in light novel too. And then, of course, wind blows by and all the girls' skirts go up. Yeah, and the guy would be like, thank you. I'm sure the guys probably would do that. So, and then of course back to the series. It's basically, and as a thank you for curing the curse, the four are awarded with 100 million of the currency they have there. Like, oh, that's not bad. Yep, and that's the first. That's 4 and 5. 6 is technically a standalone episode. It kind of feels like an anime original, but the thing is, this character's from the actual manga, Tiger Sun. Yeah. Tiger Sun. Yeah, he's from the manga, which I'm like, really? Yeah, he is. Yeah, he made his first appearance in chapter 15.1. I'm like, okay. Yes, Tiger Sun is a black lion. No, it's not black skinned, basically. It's not like... He's basically a dark tanned. He's a black lion with black skin, black hair. I mean, appearance-wise, he kind of reminds me of Scar from Lion King. But he doesn't have a scar across. Also, he's got a tulip on his head. He said it's sensitive, but why the heck it's there for, I have no idea. So, why is he here? He just happens to run into him when he gets stronger. And, of course, they want to open shop, which they actually do. So, she goes, basically, Olivia gives Noir 2 new spells. Elevator and Blinding Light. Basically, it'll go from one particular floor, 2 floors after that. So he goes straight to the 5th floor. Excuse me. And he runs into Tiger Sun, though he was Mayor Tiger Sun. Makes a deal with him, basically, to escort him. Basically, he'll protect him from the monsters in exchange for going down to the 6th floor. Then check on his friend he hasn't heard from in 300 years. You're probably thinking, what kind of friend basically we leave down there? Is it a human? No, it's an elf. Which makes this the second elf he's actually met in the series. And the elf's name is... Let's see, what is his name here? It is Vashel. Yes, that is the name of the actual guy. And, of course, in the case of Noir, he finds him after basically avoiding a bunch of zombies. He finds him and, of course, costs a little LP to turn back to normal. Okay, perfectly fine. And then pretty much like they chat for a bit, and of course he gets reunited with Tiger Sun, which is quite great. Yeah, and apparently how they first met, basically after he just beat some monsters and basically just gave him the name Tiger Sun, he just liked it. Even though he's a lion. Even though his name was Tiger Sun, he's basically a lion. So they reunited, of course, they chat for a while. While Noir used the elevator to go to the 1st floor. And also, before this, basically, it looked like Olivia's faking. So basically, it looked like that Noir was going to like poke her. Basically, it looked like poke her armpit and poking her belly. Realize, yeah. And of course, Noir points out, though, it's quite awkward to hear you laughing even though you're in that state. Oh, don't worry. She won't be in that state very long. But I'm not going to spoil some more stuff for that. I'll spoil that when I get to later on in the episodes. So, pretty much like right after that. So, after they get, and of course, it's revealed apparently non-elves are not welcome in this country. I'm like, Really? That's the first time I've seen it for anime features elves, and apparently non-elves are not welcomed in an elvish kingdom. I'm like, that's a bit racist. I highly doubt it has anything to do with outside forces. It is probably maybe some law. I mean, I don't think it reminds me of that. It kind of reminds me of what happened with Deadly Assassin, Doctor Who, where apparently non-Gallifreyans are not allowed on Gallifrey at a particular point in time. So it kind of reminds me of that. Not the outside, not the current stuff we're going on right now with the whole thing of everything being racist, even though none of it really is. I'm sorry to bring up basically outside stuff, but it just a lot of people would think that this whole thing of blatant racism is basically heavily inspired by outside stuff going on right now. It really isn't. No, it has nothing to do with it at all. So, then of course, Noir says, why don't you come and live with me? He's like, okay. Sleep on a carpet floor. Despite the fact his house has got a wooden floor. Yes, how do you explain that? Oh yeah, I have a carpeted floor, even though your house, basically your flooring is wood. Now here's the strange thing. Now, when you look at his house, it looks like something out of the 19th century, the way it's designed. But yet, it's sort of a medieval style of society. Yeah, so he had a little trouble. He was able to squeeze in, and of course, oh yeah, by the way, they kind of hint before he went to the dungeon, he went to open up a shop, which of course the father basically just agrees to buy all the government paperwork, no problem at all, and of course take a little money, and Alice basically volunteers to keep an eye on him. Despite in the book, basically he mentions that he, even though he doesn't trust his father with the money, he does trust his mother and insists to keep an eye on him. Which they don't mention actually in the episode. They cut that little bit out, but it's perfectly fine. It's not really going to affect the episode at all. So, it's unknown if he filed full paperwork or not to get the shop yet. But Tigerson basically volunteers to come to guard a lion for the shop. Okay, perfectly fine. And Alice basically just loves Tigerson. Just pets him. Pulls at his tulip, which apparently is sensitive to him. Which I think is quite hilarious. Though, I kind of wish they explained the purpose of the tulip. Which, as far as I know, they probably don't really explain it at all. Yep. So, yeah, that's the particular review. Now, I would have time to watch episode 7. I was hoping to do that, but I spent a little time researching stuff, so I was researching about Tigerson because I don't remember this guy, but, oh yeah, he's from the actual manga, so there's that. Chapter 15.1. Yep. But I don't remember this guy actually appearing in the light novels. No, I don't remember this guy appearing in the light novels, but give or take there. Yep. Yeah, and it's something, though, for episode 6. The way it feels, you can almost seem like it's an original episode, but it really is. It adapts from chapter 15.1. Excuse me, yes. So, that's particularly it for this particular review. So, tomorrow I'll discuss the final episode that's been released dubbed for the Hidden Dungeon Only I Can Enter. Only I Can Enter. Yes, I have been enjoying watching this series, despite how brief this series is. Yes, so pretty much by the time I finish episode 7, there's only about 5 episodes left, so yeah, I'm probably going to do a review for that. Plus, of course, since we've got new anime tomorrow, 7 Deadly Sins coming tomorrow too, so I'll do that. Then 7 Deadly Sins, and that probably be it. There might be a comic corner, but who knows? Yep. Oh yeah, by the way, before I end this, I did find out by the announcement of the next set of episodes released for One Piece. Apparently, it's going to release the 26th of this month. I'm like, really? That late? I'm not really sure why. Because the last 3 sets were released at the start of the month. Not the late. I guess they probably were just very hesitant or just probably forgot to announce that release a particular date. So, it's going to be available this month on the 26th, which is basically about 13 days. Basically about 2 weeks. Okay, fine. But why wait over a month after the last of the episodes was released? Who in the heck knows? Yep. But stay tuned tomorrow for that review for episode 7 and 7 Deadly Sins. Yep. See you next video tomorrow. Bye.